You're listening to Women's Media Center Live with Robin Morgan.
Welcome to Women's Media Center Live, Special Edition. I'm Robin Morgan. And this special edition is going to be one unusual program. No special subject, because it's all election all the time. No special guest, because none of us are sure of what we're doing yet. No special focus to carefully dissect, because certain crucial returns aren't in yet. Suspended animation, and just me. So I'll do my best for a bit, trying to sort things out, and I hope you'll bear with me. I know this is not quite what any of us were expecting. The three main things to keep in mind are: 1. We warned everyone to please be patient, and cautioned everyone that this could take days. So now we should maybe listen to our own advice. 2. The razor-edge margin of the vote in some places, say Georgia, demonstrates the fortitude of those remarkable voters who stood for hours online insisting on their right to vote. And 3, dear good God, think how you'd feel if Trump had already been declared the winner.
For the smartest talk about news, politics, sex, books, religion, race, and more, it's Women's Media Center Live with Robin Morgan. Audacious, witty, provocative, informative, and fun. It's Women's Media Center Live with Robin Morgan. Talk radio with a brain.
Let's start with the numbers. No, not those polling numbers. Election Day numbers. As of Election Day, the United States hit a new number: 108,000 cases of people a day contracting the coronavirus, and we've suffered more than 200,000 deaths. That any citizen could have voted for Donald Trump in the face of 200,000 American deaths is simply astounding. I have to tell you honestly that election night this year landed with quite a heavy blow. You can insert all the caveats here, about patience and about how Biden will almost surely pull his win off. What I was staggering under, though, was my reaction to the marked difference between the predicted blue wave landslide by which sanity was going to win this thing and the reality that there would be no landslide. I was also staggering under the weight of almost certainly losing the Senate, which would mean 4 more years of the same, of McConnell appointments to the bench, of hard labor to get anything done, and gridlocked viciousness. Then there was, how can Biden govern or pass any legislation if the Senate is still in Mitch McConnell's clutches? Will this turn Biden into an accommodator who'll bargain away our rights to the frustrated rage of progressives? And then there was the loss in the House of Representatives, a loss that included my old friend Congresswoman Donna Shalala of Florida. Well, not a loss, but a reduction. Election night felt as if it was a trigger effect, waking my 2016 Hillary PTSD. Where were the goddamn polls? How could they be so wrong? What planet were these Trump voters from, anyway? Drifting toward nervous wreckness, the ghost of my mother rose and walked in me, and so I ate. All night long. Although not necessarily in this order: Chinese food, peanut butter cookies, homemade, chopped chicken liver and crackers, black raspberries, boil-in-bag creamed spinach, homemade chocolate chip cookies, half a pear, half an apple, 5 sweet pickles, and a bowl of Raisin Bran. After this accumulation, plus the cumulate news, I threw up. By Wednesday, after an afternoon nap, having been up almost all night, I had improved a bit, at least enough to call some friends and comfort them, thus releasing oxytocin through my bloodstream, the tend and befriend chemical that's both altruistic and empowering all at once. Good stuff. Still, I had flashbacks. But plain rice and broth helped. And so it continued. I have written and rewritten these notes more times than I can count. Yet as of now, Friday morning, Pennsylvania still dangles out there, although Joe and Kamala are in the lead, well ahead. Wasn't it James Carville who once quipped that Pennsylvania consisted of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, with Alabama in between? Trump has no path to victory in the Electoral College without Pennsylvania, but Biden-Harris do. For one thing, there's, oh my God, Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Stacey Abrams should be crowned Queen of the World. Georgia is so close it could even at this late stage affect the balance in the Senate, since it has not one but 2 senatorial races that will go to runoff. Of course, runoff elections take time, probably not till January. Meanwhile, the Washington Post reports that more than 150,000 ballots were caught in U.S. Postal Service processing facilities and were not delivered by Election Day, including more than 12,000 in 5 of the states that have yet to be called. Trump, of course, is already apoplectic, spewing propaganda and threats from the White House itself, inciting violence by calling out his thugs, plus lodging lawsuits, demands for recounts, tweets, and, totally illegal, orders to stop the vote count immediately. All networks except Fox News cut away with formal disclaimers that his outright lies and defamation of the electoral process make it impossible for them to carry his speech. That's a first. And I refuse to waste more time on him, except to point out that his defeat will mark only the 4th time in the past 90 years when a sitting chief executive has been denied re-election, the 10th time overall in the history of the nation. Mitch McConnell has been corrupting and confirming our judiciary, but what's left of the original judiciary has just decided that Trump's indignation lawsuits about Michigan and Georgia vote counts are illegitimate. So I'm ricocheting between hallelujahs and plummets. Biden has received more popular votes than any candidate in the United States history. By the way, Democrats have won the popular vote in 7 of the past 8 presidential elections. What does that tell us? Then, there is the gender gap. So far, it's on track for breaking the record in American history. Even given the debate over who can restore the economy when, if we survive the pandemic, women and men experience the economy differently, and women are far more skeptical than men about the economy being in such great shape. Even during the recovery following the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis, women perceived the economy as quite weak, while men were net positive in their views of it. Furthermore, women just don't rate the economy as the major issue in this election, and when they do, they say Biden would be the better caretaker. Not surprisingly, women rank survival and health, especially in a pandemic, higher than they rank economics, nor do they necessarily see the two as separate. In 2016, Trump won votes from only 40% of women, still way too high as far as I'm concerned, but an 11-point gender gap, tying the record with Bill Clinton in his 1996 re-election, and most of that burden was carried by black women, while many white women, maddeningly conflicted about Hillary, actually voted for Trump. Well, that's not happening this time, so the gender gap bodes to be even more dramatic than ever before. Now there's Biden on TV counseling patients. Okay, so it's not a landslide. Remember to breathe. For God's sake, the world isn't ending. Well, actually, it could be ending with climate change if Trump stays in power or McConnell has his way. No, not yet. Not anyway. No world ending, not yet. This next period is still one of great uncertainty. How I long to be a calm, still center of strength. Truth is, I want Trump to go away, to disappear forever, to vanish from our landscape. Well, that's not possible. So I must wait. And then I thought about Abigail Smith Adams and how long she waited. And as a distraction while we wait, as a patience enhancer, and as a general reminder of what it is we are in fact about, her words, left to us largely in the form of copious and splendid letters to her husband John, her son John Quincy, to Jefferson, to Madison, and to Dolly Madison, those words are just the right comfort and inspiration. If we mean to have heroes, statesmen, and philosophers, we should have learned women. We have too many high-sounding words and too few actions that correspond with them. I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And by the way, in the new code of laws which I suppose it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you would remember the ladies, and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion, and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. Knowledge is a fine thing, and Mother Eve thought so, but she smarted so severely for hers that most of her daughters have been afraid of it since. I am more and more convinced that man is a dangerous creature, and that power, whether vested in many or a few, is ever grasping, and like the grave cries, "Give, give." A little of what you call frippery is very necessary towards looking like the rest of the world. How difficult the task to quench the fire and the pride of private ambition, and to sacrifice ourselves and all our hopes and expectations to the public weal. How few have souls capable of so noble an undertaking. How often are the laurels worn by those who have had no share in earning them. But there is a future recompense of reward, to which the upright man looks, and which he will most assuredly obtain, provided he perseveres unto the end. Merit, not title, gave preeminence in our country. I did not doubt it was a mortifying circumstance to the British nobility to find themselves so often conquered by mechanics and mere husbandmen. But we esteemed it our glory to draw such characters not only into the field, but into the Senate. Arbitrary power is like most other things which are very hard, very liable to be broken. These are times in which a genius would wish to live. It is not in the still calm of life or in the repose of a pacific station that great characters are formed. The habits of a vigorous mind are formed in contending with difficulties. Great necessities call out great virtues. When a mind is raised and animated by the scenes that engage the heart, then those qualities which would otherwise lay dormant wake into life and form the character of the hero and the statesman. I think I am very brave upon the whole. If danger comes near my dwelling, I suppose I shall shudder. I wish most sincerely there was not a slave in this province. It always appeared a most iniquitous scheme to me, to fight ourselves for what we are daily robbing and plundering from those who have as good a right to freedom as we have. I begin to think that a calm is not desirable in any situation in life. Every object is beautiful in motion. A ship under sail, trees gently agitated with wind, and a fine woman dancing are 3 instances in point. Man was made for action and for bustle, too, I believe. I cannot say that I think you very generous to the ladies, for whilst you are proclaiming peace and goodwill to men, emancipating all nations, you insist upon retaining an absolute power over wives. But you must remember that arbitrary power is like most other things which are very hard, very liable to be broken. And notwithstanding all your wise laws and maxims, we have it in our power not only to free ourselves, but to subdue our masters, and without violence throw both your natural and legal authority at your feet. Those are a few samples of the wit and wisdom of Abigail Smith Adams. And now, finally, news comes of Biden's lead in Pennsylvania, with the verdict all but in. This republic will have a new president-elect and the first woman vice president-elect in its history. There is a massive amount of work here to do. Immediately and in the next 3 months' danger period, and thereafter for years, even to just get back to where we were. And there will be obstruction and delay, mendacity and confusion. But the people did speak, and the process has held. And since it's true that democracy is not a spectator sport, weary as many of us are, we must roll up our sleeves and get to work again. Happy election season. Those are my fighting words. Add yours on Twitter and remember to tag us at WMC Live and use the hashtag #FightingWords. And that's our show for this week. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and now Instagram at @TheRobinMorgan, and you can check out my blog at robinmorgan.net and find my latest book of poems, Dark Matter, and my brand new novel, Parallax, wherever books are sold. Opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily represent the Women's Media Center. Here's the family for Women's Media Center Live. Executive producer as well as founding and sustaining sponsor, Regina K. Scully. WMC president and co-executive producer of this program, Julie Burton. I'm Robin Morgan, your producer and host. Thank you for being with us. Join us again next time on Women's Media Center Live.